Today we are going to be looking at 2024 trailers for upcoming horror movies and discussing whether or not they're going to be terrible, meh, good, or potentially the best horror movie of 2024.
We're just days away from going to the polls.
Which is actually the reason for this weekend's celebration.
Founders Day. In this intense political thriller, we got a quaint town that's rocked by a string of foreboding murders just days before a fiercely contested mayoral election. Amidst some accusations, we got a looming presence of a mysterious masked assailant, and the inhabitants of the town find themselves in a desperate race against time to figure out the truth and prevent the town from being killed.
Festival with a mass killer running around.
With a mass killer running around! I'm sorry, dude. I can't take this killer seriously with the stupid big wig thing. Come on. A gavel and a big wig. I feel like we could do a lot better.
Don't you dare.
Don't you dare.
What about Founders Day?
He's probably the killer. Come on. Like this guy dialing it up to 1,000. He might be the killer.
Get away from him right now.
They called it a gavel banging good time. Ugh. This is probably going to be okay. I think there's going to be some fun moments in there. The killer looks campy as hell. I wouldn't necessarily go see this in the theater.
Guess you got no reason to be here, Deputy Felon.
You're a peace-loving, reasonable man.
January 19th, we have Sunrise, another vampire tale. We've got a character named Fallon, played by Alex Pettyfer, is wandering the land in this movie. He's embracing the role of a nocturnal creature and seems to be grappling with a profound loss of his family at the merciless hands of a brutal demagogue named Reynolds, played by Guy Pearce.
It's a story made up to scare kids.
Guy Pearce looks rough around the edges, man.
You're a peace-loving, reasonable man.
Deputy Fallon, got no reason to be here. I love the small town stuff in horror. It makes it a little bit more fun, I guess. I don't know who this woman is, but she's probably the highlight of the movie.
The red coat. He's Primer.
The red coat? This isn't like a Revolutionary War thing, is it? After Founders Day? Surprised they're related in some way.
Do you drink human blood?
You offering?
Man, vampire movies are real hit and miss for me.
Blood.
Yeah, we get it. Yeah, I understand he feeds on blood.
Best you be on your way.
We got Vampire Neo, apparently, who's just really good at disarming somebody and dodging bullets. I think this is going to be a long, drawn-out, boring movie. There might be a couple of cool kill scenes. I think this is going to be a painfully average vampire movie where Guy Pearce was just looking to get a paycheck.
If you're watching this, then I'm already dead.
Baghead at the end of January. This is a pretty highly anticipated horror movie for me. A young woman inherits a rundown pub and discovers a dark secret within its basement. The Baghead creature, a shape-shifting monster that will let you speak to lost loved ones. Sounds pretty awesome if you ask me, but you know what? There's gonna be some consequences if you use the creature's powers, I'm sure.
My dad owned this place. I don't have any memories with him. This is all I have.
Right off the bat, the sound design's really cool. I recognize the actress. I don't remember where she's from. Put it on the screen right here. There's a lot of great establishing shots from high above and interesting sound cues and changes. So if that consists throughout the movie, I think that's going to be pretty awesome. Producer of It, okay. And Barbarian. So we're going to have a lot of jump scares. It's going to be a very atmospheric horror film with some good character development, I think. Oh, so it's a monster in the basement, just like Barbarian?
Iris.
Why does it make that noise? Like the Predator clicking noise? Instead of the crazy orchestral cello violin screechiness with like the clicking, I don't feel like that's the noise the monster should make.
I want to see it. Money's really no object.
I think this one's going to be good, maybe a little average. The reason why I think that is there's a lot of movies that are consistently playing with the whole trauma loss trope. I know it's a horror movie, so it's kind of ripe for that kind of thing, but you know, Talk to Me did this last year. It's just sort of this trending thing nowadays. You get the creepy monster running on the ceiling. You have the pull the bag off their head and you can talk to the whoever dead person is you're trying to find. It could be a cool movie. I think there's going to be some neat jump scares, some probably cool set and sound design. I think it'll be above average.
High school can really suck sometimes, especially if you don't quite fit in.
You guys can't leave me alone for an hour?
Departing Seniors. This one seems like a nice crossover between what the Dead Zone was trying to do and then throw in a slasher feel to it. The movie follows the story of a character who's been bullied. He's in high school, he's a senior, hence the name Departing Seniors. And he discovers that he's developed some psychic abilities. Now he must harness these powers to figure out and thwart a mysterious serial killer who's been targeting his classmates. I love a fun high school serial killer story, and if we got the whole psychic power thing, this might be kind of rad.
Our alma mater.
You must be really glad to be getting out of here, huh?
I guess.
I'm digging how this actually looks like a high school. Have you ever noticed, like, when you're watching high production movies, they make high school look like the best thing ever? Like, there's all this beautiful classrooms and bustling crowds of people. This kind of looks more like an average classroom, like most high schools.
What the Do we have a history of mental illness in the family?
No?
Yesterday, I practically bashed my brains in.
So they're doing like a Dead Zone kind of thing with this. For those who don't know, the Dead Zone is an old horror movie with Christopher Walken where he could basically see premonitions of people's fates. Seems like very similar thing here. Kid hit his head, now he can see things.
Someone's killing our friends.
And do we really call those guys our friends?
Cool premise for a movie. I'm glad that they're sort of mashing things up between this premonition injured kid and mysterious killer in the high school killing students. I think this could potentially be a really fun film. We had Totally Killer on Amazon last year. That was kind of a fun little romp in the whole teen comedy horror trope thing with a slasher film. I think this could be more of the same, above average to good horror film. I'm pretty excited to see this one actually.
He's down!
Here for Blood, February 9th. This one looks like a ton of fun, man. Tom O'Bannon, a boisterous pro wrestler, is grappling with some financial challenges, so he decides to be a babysitter for his girlfriend. After arriving at an isolated family home, what begins as a just peaceful night, just eating pizza and chilling with the person that he's babysitting, turns into a dark and bloody, violent night.
Baby, I don't know how to take care of children.
All he has to do is just keep the kid alive for a couple of hours. It's really not that hard.
So we got a mashup film here. I love comedies that just go for it, man. So much fun. Basically a wrestler who's stuck doing babysitting, and I'm guessing he has to fight a bunch of masked intruders. Yes, we got a hard rock and metal soundtrack. Fun as hell, sign me up. The masks are pretty cool. I like the set design too, like the colors and everything. It looks kind of like a throwback to the 90s a little bit. I like the wrestling vibe too. It kind of makes it more fun. I have a feeling that a lot of these guys probably got hurt on set just doing some of these takes. It is what it is. They probably knew what they were signing up for, but you know what? That probably made the movie pretty fun. This looks awesome, man. I bet I'm gonna have a blast with this. It's probably gonna be great. I'm gonna give this one a great. Lisa Frankenstein, releasing February 9th. This is a coming-of-age love story, and it unfolds as a teenager discovers her crush is kind of a reanimated corpse. Following a series of horrifying events that bring the corpse back to life, the two set out on a peculiar journey to seek love, happiness, and the recovery of a few missing body parts.
Does he have more of a basketball bod or a football bod? He doesn't play sports.
Right off the bat, this is really fun to look at. There's some cool production elements here. I'm not sure what time period this takes place in. It might be the 80s, just with like the hyper neon lights and everything. But I love the compositions, like the lighting, the fog, the atmosphere, the purposeful shots. It's really cool.
I tend his grave.
I talked to him.
I wish I was with you.
Wow. Yeah, like that graveyard scene with just her in the gravestone with that pink lighting. Very cool. Cool.
You hear that?
I'm sure it's...
And it's got kind of a Tim Burton vibe to it. Like the way that the sets look, especially with like that sort of fisheye lens, and it looks sort of fake. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Edward Scissorhands. I think that's probably some of the influence that they were taking here.
They can't make you better. I mean, they can, but like emotionally. No, don't cry.
This looks like a ton of fun, man. You know, like a great horror comedy, maybe like Warm Bodies, which is a very underrated zombie film. This is probably going to be a really good take on the Frankenstein genre. We've been getting a lot of those lately. Like Poor Things was awesome. A Black Girl and Her Monster was also really awesome. I'm glad that we're getting movies that are exploring the old classic monster tales. I think this one's going to be great.
I don't need a break. I need a story. But I am stuck.
Monolith. It's about a determined journalist who is propelled by her investigative podcast. She unravels a peculiar artifact and exposes an alien conspiracy and confronts the deceit that's embedded at the core of her own narrative throughout the film.
I thought coming back here would help.
Maybe you need a break.
I don't need a break.
Really interesting choice for the color palette. You can see a lot of cool blues everywhere. Very muted. There's no lights on. Kind of adds to that somber isolation sort of vibe of the movie.
An anonymous email. An object filled with unknowable power.
Wow. Okay. It looks like it's going to be sort of a mystery sci-fi movie that's got a slow burn to it. I dig this so far.
It's violent.
Grandfather.
I hope the movie doesn't have the slow motion. The trailer looks kind of jagged at times. I don't know if that's just the trailer or if that's in the movie. I hope it's not in the movie. This looks excellent. I'm pretty excited to check it out. It kind of reminds me, I know it's not the same story, but the vibe reminds me a lot of Ex Machina. That sort of isolation, you're in your own head, you're in the main character's head kind of feel. This one I think is going to be very cool. There aren't enough alien artifacts, alien conspiracy kind of horror films, and I think this one's going to be really good, if not great.
Why is the plane so empty?
It's because it's really old.
What?
Yeah.
Don't worry, we're gonna be just fine.
No Way Up. This is one of my worst nightmares. I have many, unfortunately, but this is one of them. A diverse range of characters from a bunch of different backgrounds. They find themselves unexpectedly united when the plane that they're on crashes into the Pacific Ocean. Now they must navigate and grapple with a nightmarish fight for survival as their air supply dwindles and danger looms in every direction. So this kind of reminds me of Final Destination. You know what's scary too is that some of this stuff I guess has happened before, like a bird hitting the jet engine and the jet engine not being able to handle it. I don't think they were midair though. I think they were on the runway. This is one of the top horrifying things that most people are terrified of. I know this is a movie, but I feel like you would definitely not survive an impact with the water. I mean, unless the pilot's alive and knew how to safely glide you down and brake somehow. I don't know, man. That just doesn't seem like it would go too well.
We're gonna have to find our own way out.
How long do you think we have?
We're sliding down, man!
We're running out of air.
This looks actually like it could be pretty good. 47 Meters Down was an awesome horror movie. The whole accident genre of horror films is pretty interesting. Fall, I know it's a different movie, but kind of a similar kind of feel here, where you're in the story of people trying to survive and they're trying to get out. This looks like it could be pretty cool. I have a feeling this one's gonna be okay, but I could be wrong. What do you guys think?
Mi gente ramp.
Out of Darkness, releasing February 9th. It takes place in the Old Stone Age, and it follows a disparate group of early humans that unite in a quest for a new land. However, some suspicions arise among the group as they believe a malevolent, mystical being is relentlessly tracking them down. The clan is compelled to confront danger that surpasses anything that they have ever envisioned. I'm already super pumped for this one because I love period pieces, and this one is supposed to take place in the Old Stone Age. So we're gonna get what we think life was like back then. Great character storytelling, great costumes, environmental storytelling. I know it wasn't necessarily a horror movie, more of a thriller / sci-fi, but Prey was really good with that. I I wonder if this is maybe like a Wendigo kind of tale. I love the idea of primitive ways of fighting back against a monster. Obviously, you've got spears and arrows and traps and things like that. I think this is going to be a pretty awesome movie. I'm pretty excited for this one. I would put this close to the top of my list for excited about.
Turn around, please, Jane!
Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey was abysmal, and now we're getting Mickey Mouse, I guess. We have Mickey Mouse, Mousetrap. We don't know when it's coming out in March, but it is coming out in March. It follows the main character, Alex. It's her 21st birthday. She's stuck in an amusement arcade on a late shift, so her friends decide to just surprise her. But a masked killer dressed as Mickey Mouse decides to play a game of his own, and they must survive.
These are the best party that we can throw.
You can tell already that this is made by an amateur filmmaker just by the sound design. The way that the voices sound, you know, there's a lot of room tone in it. It doesn't sound really well processed and isolated from what's going on.
Blood all over the jungle gym.
Like you can hear the clipping in the voice when she's yelling. What is this like B-rated bad rock in the background? Like it doesn't even feel like it fits the vibe of the movie so far. Has anyone ever worn a mask like that? It is unbelievably uncomfortable. I would give up at doing anything, let alone trying to stalk people. So dumb. We're probably gonna get so many of these kinds of movies. I really hope this burns out soon, man. I did not dig Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. I know we're getting another one this year. This is gonna be bad. It's 100% gonna be bad.
How does it feel being back?
Good. I had such good memories here. Maybe my happy place can be our happy place?
In March, we have Imaginary, one of the bigger horror movies of the year. It follows a woman returning to her childhood home as she gets back to her roots. She is astonished to find that the imaginary friend that she left behind as a child is not only real, but also harbors some deep-seated resentment for being abandoned.
Who left you all alone down here?
It was just my imagination.
Notice how the sound design here is like much better. You can tell it's done by actual producers and non-amateur filmmakers. This is pretty cool so far. The idea of an imaginary friend getting mad at you, it's kind of cool.
Something happy. Ugh, I thought bugs freaked you out.
If I can finish my list, Chauncey.
I do hope, though, that we don't just have a bear sitting there and a girl just saying Chauncey is upset with whatever thing. I hope this bear transforms at some point. We did that with Annabelle. We did that with so many doll stories. Let's have a monster, please.
You've been spending time with a new friend?
Maybe this is me being a little negative and whatever, but I'm kind of sick of horror movies taking old like 70s and 80s songs and slowing them down for the soundtrack. I understand that it's an imaginary friend or whatever, but it's kind of getting old for me. Uh-oh. All right, cool. So the bear actually moves. It's not just like the Chucky scene in the first one where it's like, oh, the batteries aren't in it. He's possessed or whatever. This is actually pretty cool.
Your imaginary friend, when the connection is severed, the entity becomes enraged.
Who specializes in imaginary friends? Like, is she just like an imaginary friendologist or something? I don't know. That's a little weird. This is probably going to be good. I don't think it's going to be mind-blowing. Megan last year was pretty awesome. The Black Phone, when that came out, that was pretty damn good. I think we got a good team here who knows how to make well-produced horror. I think we'll get a good horror movie out of it. If you're new to the channel, hit like, hit subscribe, help me out. Let me know down in the comments what movie you are psyched about in 2024. I will scare you guys next time.